Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am building a family home. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house located in the world of Newcrest, coming in at approximately 78,000 simoleons and change. And it actually ends up being bright red, which is not a color scheme I tend to go for. And I really tried to embrace it on the exterior and interior of this build. We end up having some red curtains, some red bedding, just like accents throughout because it's a color I struggle to use and I think it came out really cool here. So I definitely wanted to share this. I did stream this over on Twitch last week where I wasn't really sure what we were going for other than I wanted to build something with base game. So this is a base game only build as well. And as it progressed, it became many colors, but when it got to the red color, it felt like it was correct. That was what this house was meant to be, and I'm so glad that I decided to embrace it because it's just the color I don't use very often. Let me know if you are the same or if you have any particular colors in the Sims that you find harder to use for exteriors, interiors, any of that. I know my go-to color is probably blue or gray. There's just so many nice blue swatches in the game, but red is just a harder one for me to use. But it is one we have in base game, and so I'm really happy with how this build came out. If you do like it, by the way, and you'd like to download it, it will be available in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Miss Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So right now I'm just trying to figure out the front of the house. I thought it would be a little bit more interesting to add a exterior like chimney on the front of the build. That was a little bit more of a focal point and I really like that. And actually by the colors and textures I put on that chimney is what inspired the rest of the build, because at first I had a brick and I didn't really like that, and then I changed it to a stone, and then I tried to embrace the stone more. We ended up with this bright blue color for a while, which I liked, but it didn't feel like it was quite right for this build, so you'll see me just keep changing it. Now it's just white and stone, and I really like how this looks as well, but it's a little bit more basic and in my comfort zone, so I'm really glad that I changed it, even though I really adore how this looks, especially with the blue door. Maybe I'll do something else like this sometime soon. And also thank you to everyone who wrote down suggestions on the last video as well as on my community tab post where I was asking for some build ideas. There are so many fun ones in there and I cannot wait to share some of those with you because I got so many fun ideas and I'm just very excited to share those. But this was already in the works and I finished it, so I thought I would share this first. So there should be a mixture of things coming out on the channel this week, so definitely be on an eye out for that. But here we are changing to the red color, very much inspired by the planters that I put on the outside of the windows, which are from Show Live Edit Objects. I use a ton of that cheat as well as the tool mod in this to try and make this house look a little bit more unique, interesting, without feeling too limited by just base game. So hopefully that is okay. You will not need tool or any of the cheats to go ahead and use this lot other than putting move objects on. You're always going to want to with any build that I make or most builds on the gallery. You're probably going to be safest to go ahead and activate the cheat bb.move objects on before you go ahead and place a lot. I don't think you need the on at the end anymore, but I still type that and it works either way. But yeah, you're probably going to want to activate that before you download anything off the gallery. A lot of builders use move objects, and even if they don't, sometimes items will disappear when you place them off the gallery without that cheat enabled. So just a little tip there. But here I am just trying to figure out which windows to use. I have some like go-to ones when it comes to base games. I was trying to use a couple of different ones here, and I was happy with that decision. I think these ones are nice. They have a thick frame on the top. And of course, they match the one that I put upstairs in that bump out that has like the 3 little windows. I think it's so cute. So I wanted the windows to match. And then I decided to add some cars over here since I added like a carport area. But anyway, this is around the back of the house. It's got a very simple shape. We have a little porch area and I end up having a small fenced in backyard. There's not too much back here. I believe we have like a barbecue, table and chairs, and a set of monkey bars for any kids. I was kind of thinking there was a kid and a teen in this house, but the kid is like almost a teenager. That's how I decorated the bedrooms anyway, and I think they came out really cute, especially for a base game. Because lately all of my teen and kids rooms I've been using a lot of high school years, so it felt weird not having access to that for this build. But I still think they came out pretty cute, especially because over the years we do get more things added to base game, whether that's completely new items or items they took from other packs and created them as base game assets instead, which I have mixed feelings about, but like at the same time, I'm really happy that that bed that used to be Parenthood, that single bed that has like the space swatch and a bunch of other pretty swatches, the metal framed one was added to base game when we got the bunk beds update, because it's a really pretty bed, and so it's nice to have it in our base game homes. Anyway, this is the backyard pretty much coming together. Just got some planters over here and getting a big tree. There is that monkey bar, and also deciding to open up this space a little bit, so I moved a couple of things around so we could have a pathway from the backyard to the front yard, which I will be achieving with just some terrain paint here shortly. I just wanted to make the back porch a little bit smaller so there was more space for your Sims to go ahead and navigate the area without any like routing issues. So just playing around with the terrain paint now and trying to figure out what I want to use here. I end up using this one with the bigger stones. I think it looks nice, and it just worked for what I was thinking. It's nothing too exciting, but I liked how it looked. It gave the front yard a little bit more interest, as well as there's obviously a lot of contrast between the color of the ground and those stones. And then I used this debug fence, which looks really short and kind of odd, but I really liked how it looks on this lot for some reason, probably because it's not in the regular catalog, so it's exciting to me for that reason. So I decided to put that there, and then just getting some overgrown grass plopped around and looking for any other items that might look nice. And I found this little red and white awning, which I thought was perfect for this house. So of course I had to add that here, and then just playing around more with bushes. I couldn't make up my mind on what landscaping I wanted in this area. It took me forever, so I apologize for that, but you'll get to see a lot of it, and it keeps changing on what I have between the sidewalk and the driveway space. And then we got some rocks over here and lots of low-lying flowers. I did end up using some blue ones outside, which I thought were a nice contrast for the rest of the greenery. I mostly used bushes though, but I do have a couple of those low-lying blue flowers, which I think look really pretty. But we are inside now working on the floor plan. When you first walk in, there's going to be like a table, like a console table there, like when you first walk in with a mirror. Which is on the outside of the bathroom. In the back here, we're going to have our kitchen and dining space. And then off in the front of the house, there is our living space. Also downstairs, there is the primary bedroom and an ensuite. And then upstairs, there are 2 bedrooms and a like Jack and Jill type bathroom, but it's just a half bath. So it just has a toilet and a sink. But I wanted to make sure there was at least a space for your Sims to go and use the bathroom in the middle of the night. They didn't have to go downstairs, but there wasn't really room to add like a shower or anything. I guess I could have, but it would have made the rooms even more awkward than they already are, because they're very strange shaped rooms. But I like the personality that brings to a build, having really unique rooms, and it can be really realistic as well. Some older homes have interesting floor plans, to say the least. Anyway, this is the kitchen space. I'm using a lot of dark woods, and I decided to center the sink under the windows over there, so I had to use a couple of the end pieces to make it look like that. It's clipping ever so slightly, but it didn't bother me too much. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. If it does, you can easily delete a couple of those pieces, but I think it looks nice to have the sink centered under the windows, so I decided to do that, and then just figuring out all of the other pieces and where I want them to be situated in the kitchen. I also like to add these console tables in the middle of kitchen sometimes. It's sort of like a faux island. I think it adds a lot to the space, but it doesn't take up as much of the space, if that makes sense. It's an area for some decorations, and it's not as big as actual island pieces. I do end up putting a couple of like stools there, some of the island seating. You can't use the table as a table, but you can still have your Sim sit there if you move the chairs out a little bit, but I was kind of placing them as more of a decorative option. So that fills out the space nicely, and you can see I'm trying to incorporate some red accents here, but I think the curtain being red was too much. So I just ended up having like the red soap dispenser. We have some wine bottles over on the wall, and there's some fruit that is red. So just adding a little bit here and there, but trying not to make it too overwhelming, but, you know, having a nod to the exterior of the build. And those are those seats that I had placed. They're too close for your Sims to actually sit there right now, but you could move them back and your Sims could sit there if they'd like. It's just they're going to hold their plate in their hand instead of putting it on the surface. But there is a full table over here. Of course, everything is base game. This is a set, I believe, that is made by Hey Harry. It was one of the ones added to the game when there was a few CC creations added to the game, and it's definitely my favorite base game table and chair set. It's so pretty, and so I do use it a lot when I create builds that are only using the base game. And honestly, sometimes in ones that aren't even base game, they're just gorgeous pieces, really simple and kind of modern as well. So anyway, I do end up having 2 fireplaces in this home, one in the living room and one in the dining room. I'm just adding some decorations around that. We have a mirror, a plant, a couple of things up on the mantle as well. I wish we had more decorations, but it's okay. I still feel like this space came together quite nicely. I used a lot of like beige for rugs and stuff like that. I wanted it to be like brown and cozy, and I feel like the vibe I was going for is like those swirly brown and red decorations. I have no idea if you know what I mean, but I feel like every parent I knew of, like kids my age when I was a teenager, their house was just like beige and red. And that's kind of the vibe I was going for in this house. I don't know if I'm describing that well at all, and I don't know how to better describe it, but it was a very, very particular taste. And I was really trying to achieve that in this build because I feel like we have a lot of it in base game, and it's not one I typically go for, like I said, because I kind of stay away from red. So it worked nicely. I do really like this rug, by the way. Once again, base game rug. I did use Tool to resize it to a better size for this room, but it's such a normal, simple, basic, like kind of modern rug, and it just worked really nice in this room. So I was happy about that. And here I am changing. I tried to say changing and turning at the same time. Changing all of the curtains to red. So it's a lot, but that's okay. I think it's fun, and it definitely makes it different than other builds that I've done. So getting a TV over in the corner, some plants. I believe I'm about to grab a leather chair in the color red to add to this room. We have a very small TV, and this is where I'm going to put that table when you first walk in, with a mirror so you can check yourself out before you leave. We also get a bookcase over here and a little lamp. Just trying to decorate the space as much as I can. There's some red flowers. We have a coat rack that has a red scarf on it. And then I put like a little dresser at the bottom of the stairs. I think it's nice to sometimes use dressers in spaces that aren't bedrooms because it's kind of realistic to have extra storage options throughout your house. So that's what I ended up doing. I didn't show decorating the other 2 bathrooms, but they're very similar to the first one that I did show. And this is the primary bedroom on the bottom floor, using this really cool bed from base game. It's a red one. I believe you unlock it from the artist career. I want to say the other 2 swatches are like real life paintings, and then this one is the main swatch and it's red, and I think it looks really pretty. And I also rotated this piece of artwork and put it above the bed. I like doing that with that artwork for some reason. I just think it looks better horizontal, and so I tend to do it a lot. And then just getting a mirror over here, some plants, bedside tables. I actually use that same mirror over on this side, but I rotate it to be a horizontal mirror. I was all about the rotation today, and I think this looks so nice like this. I'm probably going to use this mirror a lot more as a horizontal mirror, and you can see I'm still not very good at Tool. I'm just playing around with it here and trying to figure out where to place things, but that looks so nice horizontal. Let me know if you agree. I think that's such a fun way to change up the decor in your Sims houses by rotating things. Mirrors are a great one to do that with, especially because you can't like scale them like paintings and stuff, so there's a lot less you can do with them, but I think rotating them adds a lot of personality. So just getting a chair over here and a piece of artwork, and then we should be heading on upstairs momentarily here to go ahead and work on the upstairs bedrooms. Oh, and I also added an easel downstairs. So there's another scale building item in this house if you so choose to have a sim who paints. But these are going to be the 2 bedrooms. One has a double bed and is like very pink and gray, and the other one is purple, black, and space themed. And I thought that was really fun. So we're starting in the pink bedroom. I was thinking this was the teenager, and so I was just trying to make it look really pretty. This is a bedspread I don't think I use very often. And so I tried to incorporate that and really play off the black and gray in the bedspread. We got a little desk over here, just getting a chair, and we got a pride flag as well as like a calendar and stuff on the wall. Gonna be getting some books and all of that. Trying to clutter it up a little bit, but not too much. Keep it very playable. This is a strange shaped room as well. And then I just got a little dresser over here with a mirror above it. Once again, changing the height of that with tulle. And then just a couple more things over here, including a mirror, a book bag, and some posters, a funky lamp. And that's pretty much it for this build. Just gonna add, I think, one more poster and some clothes on the floor, as well as this little bunny. And we're into the other room, which I was saying I think is like for a kid that's going to be a teen soon. That was kind of the vibe of this room. It could also just be a teenager or just a kid. It's up to you. But the sim does have a computer, if that sways you one way or another on what age they are. I wish I had a computer as a kid or a teenager in my room. Like, please, that would have been awesome. But I really liked how this rug matched the bed. We have a nice dresser over there, or I guess it's more like a closet. And then a desk over in the corner and a laundry basket. Non-functional because we don't have laundry day installed, but I think it's a nice clutter item regardless. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this room and pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast with this build. It's so fun to build with base games sometimes. Please let me know what you think and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and click that bell to be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy the screenshots and I'll see y'all soon. Bye everyone.